Good day. Meteorologist DT here from WeatherIsk, talking about our Saturday midday update as promised for the January 19th. And this is for all you sick, twisted weather freaks out there. Even though this is a special edition of This Week in Weather, I am still the captain of chaos, the colonel of confusion, and the commander of catastrophe. So let's get right to it, you sick, twisted weather freaks. So I want to start out taking a look at the actual conditions right now. So this is the temperatures here, so Saturday, 11:15. And you can see the point what I'm trying to get out here is take a look at Richmond, an area here, 42 degrees here, 40 in Roanoke and Blacksburg, 39 in D.C., 38 in Charlottesville, 39 in Staunton. You can see, Baltimore, same sort of thing. So, and then I'll be even into Philly, it's 40. Okay, and then South Jersey 45. But what was interesting is the models, and then of course Hampton Roads is in the low 50s. The thing is, the models actually have the temperatures going up, and given the fact that we have almost overcast skies right now, and it's midday, I don't see the temperatures getting that much warmer. Well, I'll show you what I mean. This here's the European model for 4 o'clock. All right, 4 hours from now. 50 degrees in Richmond, overcast skies in January. Really? You're kidding me, right? You have to be freaking kidding me. No. Okay. Roanoke, 50 degrees. Lynchburg, 51. No. I'm skeptical. I'm from Missouri. Even though I live in Virginia right now, I'm from Missouri. I don't know what to tell you. No, that's bullshit. It's not going to happen. Here's the GFS. 51 degrees. And then 48 in Fredericksburg. Overcast skies. With the front moving through. And the wind's running out of the northwest. Lynchburg, 49, Roanoke down to 42. No, I don't think so. Now, here's the NAM, 4 o'clock. Oh, temperature went up 2 degrees in Richmond. Same thing in Roanoke and Fredericksburg and Charlottesville. Minor warming. Even Hampton Roads is 47, 48, not 52 or 54 degrees. Which is what we were seeing on the other data. I mean, look at Hampton Roads here. It's pretty warm. So that's I think is important right there. All right, and let's take a look at what's going on here. These are the 850. This is 925 millibar temperatures, 2,500 feet up. Remember, to get snow in the winter from the cloud to the ground, it has to be below zero all the way down to the surface. So this is 2,500 feet. This is 7 a.m. Sunday morning. So this line right here between the purple and the green, right there, this line here, this is the zero line. Everything north of this is either sleet or snow. Now, Richmond is +4. It's way too warm. That's rain. Okay? Roanoke is +2. Charlottesville is +2. That's rain. All right? Unless it's very cold to the ground, that's not falling as snow here. D.C. 0 +1. You go north of it, obviously, Dulles is -2. Leesburg, and you can see Philly 0. But, Willow Grove, Reading, Allentown is much colder. So you can see the temperature contrast there. Now, here comes the front. This is 850 millibars, 1 mile above the ground. This is and you can see it's a little colder. So the cold air is trying to come down from the upper levels. You can see DC is -1. All right. But as we saw before, it's around 0 at 925. So it's probably mixed precipitation at DC at that point. Charlottesville's is +2. Now it's 0 at 850. So again, this is a wet snow or snow and rain mixed in Charlottesville. And you can see that as well. South Jersey. But Baltimore is -2. Philly's -2. It's getting colder. Now, if we look at the models, here's the European from the 6Z run. Now, based upon, I'm just going to let you know right now, the last call map is probably going to have some changes in it based upon what I'm seeing here. And the changes are going to move the big snow to the north and west of the I-95 cities. That's really what the big change is going to be. This is the European model. And here you can see it still has almost 4 inches this is the 6Z run at Charlottesville, near 4 in Staunton, 4 inches in Harrisonburg. So it's a 4-inch snowfall in the Shenandoah Valley. Roanoke is an inch, maybe higher in the hills. Again, the Greenbrier Valley gets crushed with the Arctic air coming in. And then the big snow, the 6-inch snow, is all north of New York and Trenton and Philly and Baltimore and D.C., just to the north and west of it, okay? That seems very reasonable to me. The 1-inch line here is shifted north. You can see it's now well north of Richmond, all right, according to the European. And the European, this is 850 millibars. This is a Sunday at 4 o'clock. And now Richmond's -2. So now Richmond has ended as snow. There's no doubt about that. Richmond Metro ends as snow. Okay, Tappahannock ends as snow. Patuxent River ends as snow. DC is -5. It's really cold enough for all snow. Charlottesville's -5. Leesburg at Winchester -6, -7, -8. And you can see Roanoke's -7. So the cold air is advancing rapidly by 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. The question is, what sort of precip is still going on in central Virginia? That's the issue. What sort of precip is still going on here? It's still snowing in D.C., we know that. So, and up heavy snow up in Philadelphia. This is the game time of the Eagles here. It's going to be snowing like a banshee in Philly. So Eagles fans, get ready. Chargers fans, get ready to suffer. This is the GFS, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Same sort of thing. Okay, Richmond here, -2. The GFS a little warmer, around 0, -1. But Northern Virginia, Baltimore, Philly, all about the same here. All right, here's the, this is the GFS. Let me shrink this map down a little bit. You can see it a little more. Oops, no, that's too much. Here we go here. Yeah, here's the GFS. This is the 0Z run. And notice here on the 0Z run, which is a shift from earlier, all the big snow is now north and west of the big cities of I-95, all except for Boston. Boston gets clocked. Bradford, Hartford gets clocked. Danbury, Bridgeport, they're going to get clocked. Western Long Island, I don't know how Western Long Island's going to get 7 inches if New York City's going to get 6, but whatever. I'm not going to scribble over an inch. And then you can see. So nice snow in Allentown and Reading. I know these guys in Allentown, they can bitch and whine like a bunch of little girls about the Lehigh Valley. You're going to get hit here. So, okay, central Maryland, 5-6 inches. Just to the north and west of D.C., Baltimore. And then, interestingly enough, it only has like 1 inch in Charlottesville on the European, the GFS here. This is early this morning, the 0Z run. And then you've got 7 in Staunton and Harrisonburg, which could happen. It's not out of the question. This is the GFS 6Z run. Now it's got a little more. It's got, 3.5 inches now in Charlottesville, 7 in Staunton, and then the entire Shenandoah Valley gets 4, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow up into the Susquehanna Valley, Harrisburg, Gettysburg, Reading, up into the suburbs of Philly and New York. And again, perfect snow just inland. You get nice snow here. Greenbrier Valley, Western Maryland gets clocked. A lot of this is lake effect and Arctic air coming in from the northwest. But still, total snowfall for those look really good. Richmond ends as a trace. See, this is actually a little more than what we saw on the 0Z run. A little more. All right. So Fredericksburg, maybe 1 or 2 inches, and so on and so forth. Okay. Salisbury, not much. Atlantic City, not much. Cape May, not much. That is the 6Z GFS. Here's the European 0Z run. Again, the 6-inch snow line just to the north and west of the big cities. Okay, Charlottesville 4 inches, Staunton 4 inches, Harrisonburg, Winchester, very nice snowfall. Not great, not monster, decent snowfall. That's the 0Z run. 6Z run, same thing. If you can compare the two, again, look where the big band is, just northwest of the big cities. Okay, but it doesn't mean DC and Baltimore, Philly not going to get any snow. They're going to get 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. That's what it looks like to me. So there you go. And again, Charlottesville, 4 inches, Harrisonburg, Staunton, the Valley, 3, 4, 5 inch snow, 6 inch snow maybe, depending on how it actually shakes out. Now, this is the HRR model, which is just coming out now. It takes us to Monday morning. This is going to change over time. This far out in time, it's not a very good model. You can see it's got a huge snowstorm in the northern New Jersey, southeast New York, interior New England away from the coast. That's probably overdone, but it might not be. They could get clocked there. Then DC has 3 inches, Baltimore 3 inches, Philly 3 or 4 inches, Charlottesville, Harrisonburg. The snow amounts look a little weak. Again, as you can see, this whole area right in central Virginia, blow it up a little bit. I'm talking about here. You can see this whole area, Fredericksburg, Charlottesville, Ashland, Livingston, Culpeper, Warrington. Very big question mark here. How much snow is going to fall there? I'll have some there, but it's possible they could get an inch or 2. That's it. Now, this is the NAM, the 12Z NAM, and I like the NAM here a lot at this point. It's very consistent. This is the 6. Now, this is the 6Z NAM. This came out 6 a.m., okay? And you can see it's got this nice band. I think this makes sense to me, given I'm seeing from the 850 temperatures, the 925 millibar temperatures, and the fact that the NAM actually has today's max temperature correct, and the other models don't. I mean, if you can't get the next 5 hours correct, come on, boys and girls. What are you doing? So this NAM here looks pretty good, and this is very reasonable. A widespread, you could say 2 to 4, or you could say 3 to 6. Personally, right now, I'd go 3 to 6, but I could see 2 to 4, or you could go 2 to 5, or you could go 3 to 5. That's what we're talking about in general area. And then your 6-inch snows, northern New Jersey into interior New England. This makes very reasonable sense to me. This is also a very fast-moving event, too. And this is the, what name was, this is the 12Z NAM. Yes, for today. Let me shrink this. The map is too big for everybody. Let me break it down a little bit. You can see it. And this is, now here the snow's a little lighter, again, in central Virginia. You see the miles gone back a little bit. And the snow amounts are lighter here. So you look at the 12Z NAM, you could go, hey, 2 to 4 now, 3 to 5. There's nobody in New York or Philly or Baltimore or Northern Virginia that's going to get 6 based upon this. Now, I think this is a little too dry, but it's possible. Okay, so right now I kind of favor the 6Z NAM. I think that's a very reasonable solution. But there's a 12Z is doing that. Now, let's look at the actual radar simulation, see how this is going to shake out. This is Sunday at 10, 11 a.m. And you can see moderate heavy snow in southern portions of West Virginia, eastern Kentucky. Light to moderate snow, Roanoke, Charlottesville, Staunton, Harrisonburg, getting up towards the D.C. metro area. It's raining in all rain in Richmond Metro and Hampton Roads, obviously, and then Lynchburg as well. Okay, that's 7 a.m. That's 2 p.m. The rain snow line is not moved at all. It hasn't gotten any closer to Richmond. But you're getting light to moderate snow now in D.C., moderate snow approaching Philly. It's in Baltimore and Wilmington and Dover. Okay, Vineland's getting hit. And then Western Maryland, Hagerstown, they're getting nice. West Virginia, except for Wheeling, everyone's getting good snow. This has moderate snow in Roanoke. So that's where Roanoke and Blacksburg is going to get its snow. 1, 2, 3 p.m. That's when it's going to happen on Sunday. Right? Not going to get a lot, but you're going to get some. This is 4 p.m. Now it's ended in Roanoke. You can see that. The rain snow line is approaching the Richmond metro area, and you're getting moderate to heavy snow in Farmville and Cumberland, east side of Lynchburg, Charlottesville, Staunton, Harrisonburg, Culpeper, Warrington, Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Baltimore, D.C., up into Philly, all getting clocked pretty good here. Patuxent River, looks very nice snow, looks coming down heavy there. Annapolis, sure, absolutely. Vineland, 5 p.m., same, not much changed here. Okay, but the difference at 5 p.m. is that now it is snowing in Richmond, moderate snow in the Richmond metro area, according to this. So that's where you get your snow, 5 p.m. By 7 p.m. it's over. So maybe there's an hour, maybe there's 2 hours in Richmond. That's it, maybe an inch. So not a Richmond storm at all, sorry, folks. And then you can see it's leaving Northern Virginia at this point. Certainly by 8 p.m. it's over in Baltimore, D.C. metro area, Northern Virginia. It's still continuing. It's still snowing like hell in Philadelphia, where the Eagles game should be coming to an end at this point. So we'll see. And then, of course, you've got the big snow here in the Delmarva getting clocked. Salisbury's getting it, Dover, Cambridge, Easton, all getting slammed, and Vineland, New Jersey, New York City is getting hit pretty darn hard. And again, I'm not showing the simulation maps up in New York and New England because it's going to be a big snow there. Everybody knows it. That's not the issue. So there you go. Now, the NAM, looking at these 8 temperatures again, this is Sunday at 11 a.m., they're +2, which is a little colder than the other models. Right? This here, again, the difference between the light green line here and the purple line, that's the 0 line. That's the rain snow line right here. You can see it right through there. This is at 6 a.m. on Sunday. And then by 4 p.m. Sunday, the line has come down south. You can see the cold air is coming southward, but in Richmond, it's holding. See, the cold air is coming in this way. The warm air is still pushing up a little bit. So again, if you go back, look at southern New Jersey, 0, central Delaware, the 0. But if you go up, it's actually gone up a little bit here. Okay. So that's by 4 p.m. And then you can see this is Sunday 9:20. This is the 9:25 at 11 at 6 a.m. also. So you can see +3, and then here you can see it's also +2. So this is all rain Sunday morning in central Virginia. You can see that's just too warm, right? And then this is, again, you can see the temperatures on the NAM at 925 millibars. And finally, the other point, well, getting towards the end of this here now, This is the RGEM, the High Resolution Canadian. If you want to look for forecasts which screws everybody in the lower Mid-Atlantic, DC, Baltimore, Charlottesville, Northern Virginia, that's the model which does that. I think this is wrong. And in fact, you can see this was the 6Z run, and this is the 12Z. The 12Z runs actually come south a little bit, so I think it is wrong. Okay. Finally, let's talk about this event coming up for Tuesday night, Wednesday. I posted this on the Facebook page from our friends in Hampton Roads. This is the European model from early this Saturday morning. It's got a nice snowstorm up into eastern North Carolina and Hampton Roads, just to the south and east of Richmond, up into Salisbury. A nice snowstorm there Tuesday night. Now, this is, again, 10-to-1 ratio. And the problem is the Arctic air is so cold here that this is actually not going to be 10-to-1. This is going to be more like 15-to-1 snow ratio. So if the model is giving you 4/10 of an inch of liquid, instead of getting 4 inches of snow, it's 6 or 7 inches of snow because of the high snow ratios. This Arctic air is overwhelming, and it's really going to shock people. All right. That was the European. This is the 6Z run. It shifted back to the east a little bit. This is the European ensemble from 6Z. Okay, very reasonable here. 1 to 2 inches south side of Richmond, 4 inches in Hampton Roads, 4 or 5 inches in eastern North Carolina. Very reasonable solution, makes sense to me. This is the GFS 0Z run, look like the European a little bit. And this is the European ensemble at 6Z. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's zoom in here a little bit. You see these thin blue lines? These are the 850 temperatures, right? So normally you don't get -6, 850 in central Georgia and eastern North Carolina, right? It usually snows there around 0 or -1. But if you look at Hampton Roads, it's -12 to -9 in northeast North Carolina and Raleigh. That's incredibly cold air with really high snow ratios. Now, further inland, the problem is it's simply too cold to snow. This Arctic high is much stronger than 1038 millibars. It's going to be 1045, something like that. So it's just really, really cold air, and it's too cold to snow. And the low is too far off the coast. So can this low come closer to the coast? Yes, it absolutely can. This is just a projection. We'll wait and see. We've got time to watch how it goes or not. Okay. But the snow, because of the Arctic air, this is only going to go so far inland. It's not going to go up towards DC in any significant way, or Philly or something like that. This is the European ensemble. Let me shrink it a little more. Now, again, the 6Z run, valid for Wednesday morning. Again, now you can see how the precip has pushed into Richmond and Hampton Roads. And again, look at these 850 temperatures. -12 in Norfolk and Raleigh, okay, and -15 in Richmond. Good googly moogly. You just don't see that. This is just an amazing amount of cold air, and the snow ratio is going to be really, really high. So I'm very impressed with this in terms of getting snow there like that. Just you don't see that. This is the Canadian, and then the Canadian ensemble for Tuesday night into Wednesday. Looks pretty decent. Okay, nice snow there. The Canadian, we'll see if that's right. And this is the GFS ensemble. This is the 6Z run. It's shifted to the east. And finally, people are asking about next Friday, Saturday. And I just thought I'd briefly touch upon that. This is the short wave. The pattern is about to collapse. The cold pattern is coming to an end. So this is the last threat, I think, for a while. Now, you can see the polar vortex, which at one point is going to be down here north of the Great Lakes, is now moving up towards Baffin Island and Greenland. And when it does that, the NAO is going to go from being negative to neutral to positive, and the pattern goes and it collapses, all right? So the ridge, which was on the west coast, now look where it is. It's in the middle of the central North Pacific, south of Alaska, the Aleutian Islands. Now, that ridge supports a trough in the Rockies, not on the east coast, okay? But in the meantime, we have this one little short wave I circled here in black. You see it? That's a pretty big-looking system, all right? Now, that's going to generate low pressure. The question is, what's it going to do? There will be enough cold air probably on the coast for it to remain all snow. But what happens is, okay, by Saturday morning, January 25th, a week from today, that short wave gets crushed. You see how it shrinks from this to this? So that's why the models aren't doing anything with it this morning. Yesterday, they had a big storm for January 24, 25 on the East Coast. Today, they don't. That's why. I don't know what solution is correct. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not making one way or the other. And again, notice here the ridge, the squiggly lines, that's your ridge in the eastern Pacific. There's your trough now here from central Canada, Manitoba, towards northern California. So everything's shifting to the west coast, and that's the last of it. And the NAO is now positive. So there you go. That's the end of the at the end of the winter pattern for January. It's almost going to last the whole month. I mean, pretty darn impressive. December was great. January was great. We'll see what February looks like. I'm not optimistic about the first 10, 12 days of February, but after that, we'll see. We still have the second half of February and all of March to go through. So don't jump off the bridge, boys and girls. A lot of winter weather to go through yet. Okay, this has been meteorologist DT from Weather Risk. I will see you over on the Blue Sky Weather Risk page, over on the Facebook page and on the website.